we want to clap.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you want to do the clap?
I guess Reese is the clap.
Do I the clap?
You said whenever, and I wanted to clap right then.
Okay, I'll take that.
Alright.
So,
We're
we
going.
can cut this. Yeah.
Alright, maybe we should recut it.
Yeah,
Maybe we should recut it.
Yeah,
we
we
just
can-
know that the whole
we could just
title.
leave it in. If we feel like doing it
Alright, guys.
again. Welcome!
Welcome to our first interdimensional podcast. We are BUSS, as you can see behind us. We have a guest on tonight, so I guess we'll just go. My name's Reese, for those of us who don't know.
I'm Drew.
Yep, I'm Zach. And together, we create two cheeks here. So we've got a cheek on my left, which will be Reese.
Thank you.
And I am the cheek on the right.
Which
and
would be Zach.
And yes, that's me. So what we do here is we create between the cheeks. And that's what this podcast is. We bring people in, and today we have a very, we have a very special guest. And his name is Drew, and he is our third cheek.
Also, cheers. This is some Corona we're spreading around here.
It's Corona Familiar. We wanted the drink to be sacred.
It's
So-
nice to be on.
But Drew's our guest today, and he's our
Yep.
he's our producer. You don't see him on the scene as much.
A little introduction on Drew's behalf. We have known him personally since high school, which has been some years now. I'd venture to say about 8 years. Zach and I have known him. We've all known each other for around the same amount of time. Initially, when Zach and I started doing music, we started doing DJing and mixing, and we kind of really liked that. We liked going to shows. We liked the people we met. We liked having a lot of energy in the room. It was just a lot of fun times we had. And then we started hanging out with Drew again, and Drew has since been our behind-the-scenes guy on all of our production stuff. We spend more time with Drew than probably anyone else in our friend group. He's got a lot of ideas, and he's got a lot of spirit when it comes to the production of music and the overlay.
No,
So,
I just see the potential that you guys have, and I want to help out.
No.
But I'm glad that I'm here.
He's also very modest. He puts a lot of work into his music.
He's the sacred cheek.
He is the sacred cheek.
You don't see him much. He doesn't.
We may be the
doesn't
cheeks,
come
but
up.
he's the BUSS, dude.
He's the. Well, together we create the. You can't have two cheeks. You can't have just two cheeks. You have to have a third cheek.
Yeah, that's
You're right.
true.
And that's
You're right.
well,
If you,
that's
if
the
you
goal.
dig deep enough,
If
you'll
you dig,
discover
there's
that.
always another cheek. You
So-
just gotta keep digging.
Essentially, the point is that we are a DJ and production triplet, two on stage, one behind the scenes that sometimes like to creep in there and come and get on stage with us, and it's amazing, and I love them. But
And now we do a podcast too.
the goal of this is to spread connection with not only our fans, but people that don't know who we are. We are from Omaha, Nebraska, so the center of nowhere. We love going to shows, and here the EDM community isn't nearly as big as any other place. So us being DJs, loving electronic music, we figured we might as well just talk to people for a period of time and talk about what we love and what's going on in the world, what's going on with each other, how we feel, you know,
Talk about our feelings.
and the origins.
This is gonna be mostly an emotional podcast.
Mhm.
For those of you guys that
I'm
don't
gonna
know about BUSS or about us, we don't have any problem taking leniency when it comes to how serious we take situations, or ourselves for that matter. So though I think we're a pretty intelligent group of guys, I don't think we ever really sit down and just like gloat about that. I think we have more times where we're just not taking ourselves seriously. So part of the design of this podcast is we are gonna brush upon some serious topics. We're going to have probably a lot of spiritual topics involved.
Discussions.
We're gonna have a lot of probably structured debates, but there's gonna be probably a lot of comedy thrown into the mix.
Digging deep on all sides.
That's what we
so
want.
be prepared.
It's kind of just a hangout sesh in a sense, and this being our first virtual one of these. We're kind of it's kind of a slow pickup, so we threw down some notes and everything. So
Please leave. That was the worst time.
Yeah. Please don't leave.
Please stay
keep
here.
listening.
Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Please leave your suggestions down below of what you would like us to do in the next podcast. Don't leave. Fucking come back, please. serious. I need you. Thank you for
Awesome.
tuning in.
Awesome.
So we honestly,
thrive off of
our goal
your
here, we want to
attention.
create a. We do honestly. I cannot live without likes. If we do not, the main goal here is we want to move forward and do a weekly podcast where we can connect with fans, connect with people around us, connect with our friends, really, and just see what happens from there. We're going to talk about production, what's going on in the scene, new music we like, life, what we're doing. Like we're just having fun here, really.
Yeah, we're just gonna bus around.
We are gonna bus around, and we're gonna bus down with our bros.
Cheers. We are going to have some public segments coming soon as well.
Yeah, and we definitely don't want this to just be us talking at you. We want there to be some involvement, and that we'll get to that
Yeah.
in a bit here soon.
The interactivity of it all.
That's what matters.
That's what you guys
We want to create something here, so we also want to bring on people in the future. So any DJs or any people that we find that we just want to talk to and connect with and get really to know, just chill out.
Yeah, so and I think we kind of brushed upon the scope of this project, but we are Boss Bus, so we're doing between two cheeks.
Mhm. What is a bus?
To clarify,
Define
we've gotten
bus.
asked. So
Define
we get
a
asked
bus.
a lot, like, oh, Boss Bus, right? And
It's
it's Boss
not
Bus. It's
bus.
Bus.
BOSS space BUSS, all capitalized.
Bus is nice because it's kind of like fuck in the way that it's very translatable. It's a very flexible. It's a very
universal language.
It's a flexible. It's a very flexible word, right? So, my favorite interpretation of bus or bussy is a boy pussy, right? So it's just a nicer,
I
little
like
sparklier
boy,
word
butt
for
pussy also. Boy pussy or butt pussy, they're the same.
butt pussy is nice.
The same thing.
A lot of people think of bus is like your gooch. I mean,
It's not.
really, it's just most of your stuff down there, you know?
It's most of your stuff. That's not a. I guess you could encompass the wider overarching bus as being a gooch encompassed material.
Yeah, it's,
If you would like to interpret the bus as that, and in that case, Drew could be our gooch.
yeah. Just on the on the back end of the what would you call that?
That'd be on the
the
front.
haunch.
The haunch.
I'm back in the haunch.
All right, so one of the things I wanted to get out there, because this is if this
What are we talking about?
the name Bus.
Yes. Yeah. What?
So
yeah.
in a sense, it's open for interpretation.
Mhm.
But in a
That's how
less
you feel about it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get across. Is like, boss bus is for you. You're the boss of your own bus.
Yeah.
You are. You
It's like
actually are.
asking me who like Jesus is, right? I picture some guy in kind of like a lightish tan cloak, long brown hair and a beard. Some people picture not that at all. Okay, so when I picture a bus, I picture a nice, ripe, and we'll probably cut here, and we'll cut the rest of the audio here. So one thing that I do want to get kind of put out there is some of our backgrounds, because I think that's going to be interesting to get that out there. I want this to be a pretty interactive series. I think it'd be cool.
I'm not cutting any of that.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're not cutting any of that. I had to contemplate it.
So my musical experience is based in vocal music. That goes back to about middle school. I did a little bit of dance throughout that kind of series and everything too. I play a little bit of the banjo. I really like piano. I sing more than anything. I do percussion probably second most. Ideally, a good career choice for me would be some sort of production or some sort of teaching. Vocal teaching would be really cool. And thus far, I think that's the most rewarding thing I've personally found is anything revolving around music, whether it's pay-based or not, has been probably the most rewarding things that I have gotten to accomplish as far as projects, goals. Just little jingles and things. Even getting a chord progression down is just a good feeling, you know? Or making up a sound that you haven't heard that before, you know? It gives you a lot of hope in that project. And that's pretty much my getting to know me as far as keeping it kind of short goes, because those of you that don't know me also don't know that I can talk for years. So Drew, you want to take the gauntlet of kind of where you
Getting to know
started,
me.
how you got here.
All right, for any of you who are interested in me, I was in choir in elementary, middle, and high school, and I like music. Took up guitar a little bit, and I went to music school, and I produce a little bit, and just kind of poop around on the computer and poop around on various musical instruments. And that's kind of my musical background. I don't know, music's for fun. Music is a collaborative language that's been built up over the eons that humans across space and time have always like sort of congregated around, and it's cool to be a part of it. But it's cool to be a part of like the new scene with two of my best friends. So yeah, it's the good life for sure.
That was a good one.
Zach?
And I am Zach. All right. Our next topic is going to be.
Who are you?
That's all
Who
you
am I?
need to know. That's basically it.
I am boss.
He is boss. I'm Buss.
I dance. I've always done any type of dance, whether it be love or not. I do the dance of love since I was born, and that is to spread my love to other people. And that is the most important thing about life is dance. Did you really need to hear an introduction? Could we really have not just cut that off as Zach? What kind of I dance, I love music, I love to DJ, this is my favorite thing. It's great. We're making a podcast. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, basically
I'm happy.
same story.
It's awesome. I love things. I love festivals, music. I love the long walks on the beach. I love a lot of things.
All right. Cool. We'll segue that into Zach's interests, and we'll do a 20-minute kind of
I like things.
subtopic.
I like computers.
What is the highest you've ever felt while being sober? And this is from a viewer that asked this.
We aren't even to the viewer.
What's the most cracked out you've ever felt while not being cracked out doing one of your hobbies? From April69 at Hotmail.
If I probably fighting a really hard boss in a video game. Like that's probably
You
one
get
of
the cold
closest.
sweats or the warm sweats?
It's like cold warm. I'm just going hard.
You like the
any
room
Dark
temp
Souls.
sweats?
No.
And say your
I can't
heart
deal with
rate's
that.
right
You need to
around.
feel warm or cold sweats. I'm not a fan of. I like cold sweats rather than warm sweats, but cold sweats make me feel like I'm dying.
Cold sweats make me feel like I have a heart condition.
Same, dude. Oh my
It's weird when you
God.
get a cold sweat from your armpit because it's so close to your heart too.
I've never
You just feel
had
like
that.
your heart's getting like just squeegeed out or
No,
something.
that's.
You almost feel like for a second it is just cold blood.
That's terrifying, dude.
Your
I've
armpit's
never.
a reserve leak, you know, it's like an extra valve for you to
Dude, it's always my
emit.
feet.
That's really intense.
emit extra.
I can't feel my. Anytime I get cold sweats, I can't feel my feet, and they get all cold, and I'm like, I'm dead. This is my time.
Yeah, every time I can't feel my feet,
I feel like I'm dying.
it's my first thing. I'm like, I'm dead.
Well, I bet they're your factory. They're your
Yeah.
pizza. Speaking of which, what's your Venmo?
My Venmo?
What's your Venmo?
My Venmo is
Just let me know. Don't let the viewers know.
No, we gotta make sure we get that plug in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that
Yeah.
plug in. I'm gonna get that plug in.
Venmo us.
Is it Reese underscore Thurber?
I don't know. It's like a
Well, Venmo Reese. Figure it out for yourselves. Venmo Reese so he can get a pizza factory tattooed on his
oh
foot.
yeah, this.
Yeah, so the entire goal is that his feet just look like pepperoni pizzas.
I
They're
don't
absolutely.
listen. I'm gonna flash this for 3 seconds.
God.
I don't know where this basis is at.
Oh my God! For all of the people that cannot see what's going on here, he just flashed this sopping wet, grotesque thing onto the table, and honestly I need to go get a towel, but I'm not going to. And we need to go clean it up. And this is why we need your money, because we need to buy a tattoo covering his foot that makes it look like a pizza factory.
Yeah.
And with your help,
Essentially,
it'll probably only be like $800.
essentially the goal is to cover up this horrible
Grotesque,
horrible
creature
luck I had with jeans.
into pizza.
GoFundMe coming soon.
Yeah.
It is.
I'll
GoFundMe
have-
for pizza
I'll
feet.
have a GoFundMe.
Hashtag pizza. We should make a Patreon for Boss.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do
Patreon-
some benefits.
Patreon.com/BossBus. Please subscribe. We'll make benefits after this. But for $10, Reese will send you a foot pic. $10 a month, Reese will send you a foot pic.
I'll send you a foot pic every Monday for $10 a month.
$10 a month every Monday. You'll get an extra uncensored version of the Boss Bus podcast.
I'll also probably be creating some stickers. Oh, for you guys that don't know, our album art and stuff, I kind of fiddle around with.
He's our designer.
And layer and kind of adjust and everything, and kind of make so we can have some cool art and everything. But I will probably be coming out with some stickers along with Zach and Drew. Some ideas that we have. I will have some Pizza Feet stickers coming out. So those will probably be like $2 to $5 depending on how many.
They're all going to go toward the
They're all
Pizza
gonna
Foot Fund.
Yeah, they're all gonna go
The
towards
PFF.
the Pizza Foot Fund for a foot tattoo.
We're gonna try and make them scratch and sniff if we can.
Yeah, we're gonna try and make my
We
feet
could!
scratch and sniff Pizza Factory.
Oh my god! Make his feet scratch and sniff and the stickers to where it smells like pizza and feet. Or smells like a factory and pizza. Like rust and pizza.
I think it should be rust, feet, and pizza.
Dude.
You're like, you can't tell how you're like.
You're just like, this is.
You're
smells
weirdly
like
like there's a primal part of you that is so attracted to like everything there, but like at the same time there's like an even more primal part of you that's like, no, bad, like leave.
Yeah, something's not right.
That's the draw. That's what makes it almost worth
It's like
$5.
like gasoline, you know? Have some
Imagine
people-
taking those three and putting them in a soup. Like you have like 8 people in a room and you like soak their feet in like some
pizza.
like some warm water,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like some 100-degree water, right? Some pretty warm water.
Yeah.
And they're all soaking for like 10 minutes, right? But it's a super old pot. This pot's rusting, right? You throw that right over a fire. What's the third ingredient? Pizza. And then throw some pizza in there and let it boil. Stir it up until it looks kind of like a soup, you know? What would that taste like?
Fucking pizza.
I mean, you know.
What do you mean? That would be horrible. That'd be just pizza leftover. That'd be feet leftovers mixed with pizza.
I don't know if they're leftovers up from the
The
feet.
dead skin, all the
That's not leftovers.
The juices.
That's like a
leftovers.
phoenix, dude.
Would you say that's another meal? Is it not leftovers?
It's not leftovers. That's the entree. You
That's-
would still. That's right up. That's as fresh as a meal gets. That came off somebody's body right then.
I mean,
that's
if
the
it-
freshest that will
If
get.
it's 100-degree
When was the
water,
last time
too,
you
it's
ate a
pretty
piece of meat that
sanitary.
like literally just got cut out of a cow?
At
you
Olive
know?
Garden, if a chef were to be like, "Hey, you know the servers that come out with the
Most
cheese?"
people will never have a fresher meal in their life than skin flakes.
Olive Garden, they bring out the salad, right? The server puts his foot onto the table, and he's got crusted skin, and he takes the grater,
yeah,
and he tells you when,
Tell me.
and he's like, "Tell me when," and you just sit there, and you're like,
I'm gonna be looking him dead in his eyes.
and you just wait for him to finish.
I'm gonna wait for him to blink to
You
make
wait
sure
for him
that
to
he's
start
human.
bleeding, and he's like, "Please just say when. I can't legally stop," and he's just bleeding
He
on
has
your.
to find a new spot.
Yeah, he's like, "Bro, I can't. Oh my God, please say when. Like, this is part of my job."
It's just like toenails in it. You just went to.
You get his
like
toes.
bone
Yeah,
fragments.
he's like, dude. And then you give him a really good tip and a 5-star review, and then that is how Reese's Pizza Feet and Pasta comes into play.
Pizza feederia.
Pizza Feederia. What's the next?
For any of you still listening,
What if
thank
we-
you for bearing through that. We're gonna go on to the next topic now.
We actually have no more topics written down.
No, wait, no. So now, we introduced ourselves, right? So we want to do, in the future, I want to talk about our plans real fast. So this is going to be really quick because we don't have many plans set in stone, but our goals are as follows. So we've had a few projects in the works, and we definitely want to have a complete 4 to 5 song EP released by around the intro to beginning of summer at the latest. So we already have one song out, Silverback. Hopefully you've heard it. If not, check it out. And
You can check it out on
Spotify?
SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music,
YouTube.
Amazon Music.
Google Music, Amazon
Google
Music,
Music.
anywhere.
And SoundCloud.
What's
and
an old
Spotify.
one? What's a really old one?
Napster.
Napster. It's on Napster.
Yeah, it's on Napster.
Yeah. We have.
If
Which
any of
used
you
to be
still
what
use
was
Napster?
Napster right before? It was
Was it
Napster.
LimeWire?
It was oh fuck.
We can't look it up. That'd be like treason.
Yeah, it would. I don't know what you're talking about. They got to. Oh shit. There's not. That's a fake trivia I do. We're betwixt two cheeks. And this cheek is surprisingly smaller.
It's Johnny or this one's wrong and
That one is yeah.
thin. We're in the wrong spots.
But you have to think about cheeks naturally will stop growing if they realize that like certain signals that they get from the root system of a smaller cheek is kind of, causing that plant to die, that the larger cheek will actually stop growing and supply more nutrients to the smaller cheek.
Does that happen?
That's kind of how canopies happen, yeah, in forests.
What
You
is
just
that?
get a big butt cheek canopy
For
naturally.
For their nutrients?
90, what is it, like 70, some big figure of our oxygen comes from the Amazonian rainforest.
Yeah.
That's so many butt cheeks. That's a lot of
That's
cheeks.
a big cheek.
It's a lot of oxygen being
That's
squeezed out
what
of
we're
these.
trying to bring here. That's what this whole thing's all about. And Reese, would you pass the familiar?
It's empty.
Really?
Yeah, it's familiarly empty. You want some?
Cheers, Zach.
Cheers. I'm done. Not committed that much to the bit. I'm not drinking fun.
If you aren't watching, they just poured their drinks into mine, and it's beer. It's Corona Familiar. It's not good secondarily, but it's alright. So our goal is to release more music soon, and we're working on that. We also want to release merch, and as Reese was talking about with the pizza feet and all of our ideas, they're coming to fruition. However, we would love to get in contact with more actual producers of the items themselves, such as manufacturers or merchandisers, so we can get together with people who can actually connect us and get our commerce and what we want to sell to you guys. So we have a few ideas in terms of shirts, but in terms of like pins or stickers, things like that, we would love if you guys know companies or customization, anything, please reach out. We would
Visual
we would love
design's a
that.
big one that
Yeah.
we've been kind of
We would really like
looking
that.
towards.
Yeah, if you're an artist, feel free.
Yes, we
Send
would.
some stuff up.
We would love it. And you can also, it's going to be in our description, so all of the things to follow us will be in the descriptions of, this is going to be on YouTube and everywhere else we end up having it, so just check the descriptions of everywhere. You will have our social media and our contact for any type of business inquiry you could have. So that's really important.
Yeah.
And now that we've got that, what are we going to do with our music? What is?
It's funny because we don't really dial in on a specific project. I wouldn't really know if you asked me what my favorite genre of music is. I wouldn't really know how to answer that. What sticks out to me first is opera. Weirdly enough,
I love that.
second comes reggae. I really like funk a lot. I mean, there's a lot of genres that I really like. I like producing the music that we produce now because it's fun. The biggest aspect for us when we started is we kind of wanted a nice side hobby. We wanted something fun to do. We had a couple good friends give us some spots at local venues. We had a really good first show, a really good turnout of like 500 people at this place. And that was all through a good friend of ours, and that gave us a lot of hope that, hey, you know, this could turn from fun into an actual hobby, something that we can go and do, you know? Something that, hey, we are going to Colorado, and also we have a show to play while we're there, you know, that kind of thing.
Dreams.
But getting back to it, so far we've been working on a lot of electronic dance music projects. There's a lot of side projects personally that I want to do that aren't going to be directly attached to BUSS, but it'll be under our label, so it'll still be produced by us.
Which is something we'll talk about too.
Yeah, but it's going to be different music. So like the aspect of, for me, like I said, I like to sing, so I want to incorporate that some way into my music or our music, because it's one of my it's one of the things that I fundamentally enjoy the most. You know, our first EP was fun to make because it was so ridiculous, you know. And that is something that we stand for wholeheartedly because, I mean, who doesn't like to feel like a kid again, you know?
Joe Rogan. Sponsor Joe Rogan, please listen to this. Give us.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Our
what are you doing?
Our first.
You use so much of your audio. I've
was
heard
from
your
your
voice.
podcast.
I've heard your voice so many times. I've heard you say gorilla and silverback and bursting through the trees way too many times.
I've heard you
Please.
say the phrase "bursting through the trees" more than
God, please,
I've heard myself.
please
for the
listen to
last
this.
month.
Just give us a thumbs up or something.
Anyhow, a major aspect to our music is how we're feeling at the time, and that's why we really haven't subscribed to like a genre yet. You know, our first one was a lot of fun. We didn't use all of our productional prowess for it. You know, we didn't.
I was
we
going to
didn't
use
put
that word. I was going to say prowess.
we didn't put as much
a good word.
as much of our I don't want to say effort because we didn't put our effort into it, but as much of our ability as we could. You know, we have a lot of musical ability, and we just kind of wanted to make it fun. You know, it was an interesting project. We have about 4 different ones that are in the makings right now under the same kind of funny meets fun kind of
EDM-y, yet not taking ourselves too seriously, like not too, just having fun with it and using samples that we're gonna enjoy and making really groovy sounds, and that's what we're working on mainly now. But we wanna incorporate the I think we've all. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Ow, that's my own cactus.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that, if you're just listening, there's a cactus, and I just poked myself with it. I didn't mean to cut you off at all, Reese, but I agree completely, and I think that our musical prowess and our like ability is changing and evolving, and I feel like we're at a point now where we have so many tracks in the works, but we don't have a real direction in which way we want to take it, and that's why we need to figure out some back or some story or some way to get hyped about our own thing. Like, what is BUSS? Not in a literal sense, but in a metaphorical sense. Like, what is it? What are we bringing to the stage? What are we bringing to people?
Mm-hmm.
We need some type of something. Like, what are the origins? What kind of thing?
I think the best thing that anybody could bring to the stage with them is exactly what they like being brought to the stage. I mean, most of us who do music, we do it because we heard something that we liked, but we really wanted to like expand upon, you know? We heard a 4-second idea in a 5-minute song, you know? And we thought, wow, there was something else there, you know? Or we heard a guitarist just strumming one time and we thought of lyrics in our head, or, you know, we've been deeply connected to this concept of creation of music. And I think that the biggest thing in terms of music is a lot of people go raw when it spins off into consumer appreciation. You know, right now, the music that we produce is kind of popular. I wouldn't even say kind of. It's very popular right now, and there's a lot of aspects of it that I think all 3 of us could find something fun that we like to do. You know, I think that vocal samples are still possible in the music that we produce now.
Same.
I think that the live instruments are still very possible. I think that just really funny vocal samples and just, I mean, there's obviously serious moments in music. You know, we're all capable of, the 3 of us are all capable of making music that makes you feel. You know, that reaches a concept. You know, paints a picture, if you will. But we're also really capable of realizing those moments where you can just take a break and breathe and connect in a different way with an audience, you know? It's kind of like how we all feel like too much music is love songs, you know? I feel like too much music is a little bit too serious, you know? I feel like...
That's nice about EDM.
Yeah, I feel like there's not enough, and I think that's my allure towards EDM, is a lot of it is just fun, you know? It's not something, they don't paint a wide concept or some idea that you have to follow just because you like their music or something.
And you can, but it's not necessary to the
it's
genre.
not, thank you for saying
You
that.
can't, because what's their name? Said the Sky and like Millennium and things like that. Like, they cater more to like feeling wise, and they're like, they can be hard, and they probably play super hard sets live. But they cater to more like feeling.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have these.
But like, you can do whatever. You can still do something like where we have so much fun with the genre, and it still fits in the genre. Like, the genre is so open ended.
We have a live audience right now. I apologize, guys.
Yeah, we do. But the genre is so open ended where we can be super fun, and people can be serious and feeling and all these things at the same time. So we can have so much fun with whatever electronic music we want to make.
Yeah, I do enjoy the direction that our music is going. I think I think the nice thing about the whole concept that we started, I think the concept of just the name that we picked really painted a picture of our expectations for the outcome of what we were doing. And so BUSS, we never have taken ourselves really seriously. We've had fun throughout this whole thing. We don't pander to any audience. We kind of, when we start a production or an idea, we kind of follow through with it and see if it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it's really fun, we kind of keep it as a side idea. But we do a lot of things collectively aside from that, like this podcast being one of them. I think
trying to do more. We're gonna make videos on this channel too. Just fun ideas.
Yeah, I
Things
think
we have in mind.
I think the progressiveness of it is what has kept me interested. Because there's a lot going on. Say if we were just doing DJing, you know, I don't think that it would have kept me captivated in the whole thing. I don't think I could have gone and DJ'd every Friday night or Saturday.
I wouldn't be
night, but
fulfilled with just doing that.
Yeah, you know, and we've added kind of certain layers to it that it's added a lot of fun to it, you know. I think the biggest thing about it is that it has re-indoctrinated music into my life, you know, and it started off as an idea that we spun into a project, and since then we've done a lot of side projects that aren't even just EDM influenced. It's gotten me definitely back on my musical wagon, I suppose, in metaphorical statement, but yeah, it's just been overall a fun time. But kind of moving away from just BUSS as a whole, this podcast is mostly going to be separate from that. A lot of this is there's going to be essences of EDM, but it's essentially going to be a talk show in a sense.
Just us,
you know?
just us dudes. We introed who we kind of are and who we want to kind of get to know and what we kind of want to bring out.
Here to let it all hang out.
We did
in the kimono, you know.
We did ask
comfy.
for some anonymous questions.
We did, and before we got a little bit of time, but
Okay.
before we get to those, I do want to bring up. So we do have a label. So we are BUSS. So us three. Drew isn't necessarily on stage all the time. We would love him to be, but he's more behind the scenes. But we do have our label, BUSS Republic Records. Now, what we've been thinking of doing, and what I think would really start to spread things out, is I feel like under that label we could start incorporating other artists. Reese, how do you feel about that? If that were to be the label, then we could have other artists under our label, under the BUSS Republic Records, owned by BUSS label, to grow us as a whole with people that also feel the same way that we do.
Yeah,
have fun.
I have no problem with that if ideology is
seems to be right.
Is kind of concurrent with ours. Yeah.
And if everything seems to be working out, that just seems like a goal in the future.
See, the biggest thing that I have a struggle with in music is a lot of it, and you can hear it when this happens, is a lot of it is money based. You can hear when something is just completely dispassionate. You can hear when something is pandering to a certain audience. You can
when people just don't care.
Yeah, and so I would have it would almost, in a weird sense, it would be almost like a job interview or a...
Yeah, 100%. They'd be coming up to us. We'd be wearing some cool suits. They would be coming into us through a double door. People, if anybody wanted to ever apply to be in BUSS Republic Records, they would come to us through a double door. We would sit down here. We would be like, hey.
We'd rent a double door.
You are talking to the boss. Like,
you
gotta dress for it.
I'm wearing.
It's good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Reese is wearing nothing. I'm wearing way too much clothing for the environment. Like, it's really hot in the room, and I'm wearing.
I showed up late in like a 1981 Civic.
Yeah. This is how it's gonna go, and you're gonna come in, and we're gonna be like, hey, you gonna be under our label?
I'm like sweaty and naked.
Yeah, and I'm gonna whisper to them, are you gonna be under our label?
And I'm like telling them repeatedly not to tell them anything. I'm like, don't tell them a fucking thing, lawyer up.
Yep. And the entire, if they're cool, if they're chill, if they're like, I love you guys, and I want to be a BUSS. I want to be a BUSS.
Then you just.
I want to be a BUSS.
Then I'd be like, nope. Then I'd be like, nope, because they definitely have like some cult following.
It's like something's wrong with them if they are immediately.
If they're like, yo, listen,
hesitant,
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like all I know is I like music.
And you guys
and
do be
are chill.
vibing though.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of vibing.
Yeah,
though.
and you guys seem to always be chilling out. So
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, you wanna take a drive?
And
I'll
hey,
get
then
mine.
afterwards they come back from the drive.
That was my cat. Sorry.
We legally own them by contract, and then they produce music for us as factory workers
Okay.
for at least 45 years.
Okay.
Right?
And then you might be able to own the rights to your own music.
It's like a pension though. You have
Yeah.
to.
No, we'll just pull it to like a, what was it? Some, I don't know. We lost the rights to their own music.
I know you did.
Probably a lot of people. They
A lot of
You
people
lost me.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for a long time. Okay.
Okay.
Copyright laws.
Yeah,
kind of
we
iffy.
Bus Republic. We're kidding, but please, if you want to join us, you can. But you know, we're gonna make this a thing. And also, now that we got that out of the way, now that we made talk about our label and who we are, everything of the sort, kind of the origins of BUSS, recapping everything.
So
let's get
these questions have come from
to the viewer question.
from viewer questions from some of our videos, our live streams. Some actually have come through anonymous chats and things like that. I have never seen these, and neither has Zach. I don't think Drew has, but Drew's gonna read them.
Yeah, he's also making sure they are not too awful.
Yeah, we need somebody to kind of filter these.
Yeah. So this is what is it? What is it? Ask the BUSS. Is that the column? Is that Ask the BUSS?
In the future, it'll
Probably have a name of it.
Yeah,
it'll
we'll
be Ask the BUSS. Because also, yeah, please just DM us things, or mainly just comment on this video below. That would be the best.
Leave it in the
I mean,
comments.
as
Yeah.
you know, as
Just ask
always,
us
like
through
and
it.
comment, but comment and
Ask
your
us questions. What do you want to know?
yeah, what do you want to know? What do you want to see?
What does BUSS mean to you? Ask
Yeah.
ask us that too.
Yeah, what is your interpretation of BUSS?
What is BUSS?
I want to know. That's what I want to know. All right.
So, we got him.
Yeah,
Read 'em
we
off,
do.
Drew.
All right.
First question comes from Shane Hunt from Douglas County Corrections.
All right.
Great.
Shane Hunt from Douglas County Corrections. Let's go.
What's the weirdest thing you've done with your penis?
Okay, we're starting off.
You go
Starting
first.
off.
Who's
Starting
going
off
first?
I have to
strong
think
right off the
honestly
rip.
because I'm not sure.
Oh God, man, how do I filter this? Who's gonna see this?
I got a decent one.
Yeah.
No, I got a good. Here, let me start it out.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not like that weird. It's not that weird.
Please
It just
do
came off the
start
top of
that.
my head. You guys, I don't know if you've seen the movie Bruno. There's a scene in Bruno where it's a very close-up shot of his under genitalia, and his dickhead is opening up and singing, and actually it goes Bruno, and it just like his dickhead opens up into his mouth, and it like sings and like says that. So, what I have done is just talked with my peen,
Yep.
using it as a secondary mouth
I mean,
to speak.
Okay. you
who
know,
hasn't?
I've
So,
had
you know, that's not
conversations
that bad.
between my peen and my belly button. before.
Have you tried to
I've
like
never done that.
ventriloquist it where like you
Yeah.
don't try and move your mouth so it's really convincing? Because like peen ventriloquy is like kind of a,
It's on the market. It's on the
Yeah.
market right now.
it's popping.
Okay, so here's a couple things that I think most guys do, right? We do the tuck. We do the tuck.
Yeah, you talk.
Yeah.
Where
everybody
we
has to
tuck
talk.
it between the legs and we check it out and we're like, hey, I'm a chick, you know?
Yep, I got that. I got that front butt.
Another one. Do we all take the excess skin from the ball and just
Drape it over the
drape it
dick?
over the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
package?
yeah.
We push the shaft
And then
down
it creates
here,
a single
and it creates almost like an
igloo.
egg sac.
It's-
It looks like an alien egg
does,
sac.
it does.
I've never done
Wait,
that.
Wait,
before.
what?
Oh my gosh.
No, you stick
Guys,
your
if
dick
you've never
in
done this, so
yourself and
you go from the bottom and you
What?
use your
you kind of push your
sack
dick
skin,
into
right?
itself.
And
You
pull
push
it
your
down and
dick
you drape
into
it up.
itself,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah,
and
it's,
then you push it while you drape your sack skin, pull it up,
For
tuck
any
it up, make
for
sure
any
it's
female
nice.
viewers, ask your man about it, or
Ask your man
him
about
demonstrate
the
it.
what's it, it's called the tucked up ball skin alien nut.
The tucked up alien egg.
Tucked
I'm
up
glad you have
alien
such
egg.
knowledge.
No alien
The
egg.
tucked up
friends.
Nut
just a
skin
tuck-
alien egg.
Tucked up nut skin alien egg. Or
Yeah,
if you would like to ask your boyfriend about that, please do.
Otherwise,
He's gonna die. If he
otherwise
tells you he doesn't
known
know.
as the I had one.
I forget what the name
I'm
of it
wandering
originally
away.
was.
It doesn't
The
matter.
tucked
All
up
right.
suck nut alien skin egg.
All right.
Next question.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Please.
This one's an anonymous viewer. Ever thought you had ED?
Yeah, actually, for 1 second, it wasn't even because of a physical thing. It was because, so I don't know if you guys know this and you can't see it, but I started to lose my hair a little bit, get a little personal. So I started to take finasteride, which is basically like testosterone, like blocking shit. So essentially my testosterone can't be converted into something that takes away my hair into the DHT, not testosterone. Long story short, gives me more testosterone. But for a minute there, the side effects were ED and like complete loss of libido. So I was sitting there for a night really baked, scared that my dick wouldn't work for the rest of my life.
Really baked on CBD, legal CBD.
Just really baked on life and also a lot of alcohol. But still, it was alcohol that made me paranoid. And I was scared, that my dick wouldn't work. So that's it. That's my story.
Stoned on alcohol.
Yeah, no, actually, mine's similar to that. So I stopped smoking for a little over a year, right? I was sober from pretty much everything, and I to kind of combat that, because I got sober off of a few things. I smoked every day. I drank a lot. I partied a lot. So when I was doing that, I mean, I stopped everything at once, and so I went, because I was experiencing really bad racing thoughts before bed. So that and some social anxiety, which I had never experienced in my life. And so I went and I got prescribed Xanax. And I don't know if I'm like most guys or not, but every night to help me sleep, I like to get on a certain website and hang out there for a minute.
Take the load off.
Every night I take my Xanax to go to bed too, and so nothing was working, and I had this serious scare, and I was like, I think I'm just impotent now,
I'm impotent.
I think
Party's over,
I think
guys.
I've mentally castrated myself.
Yeah, done. Shit.
Yeah, I've opened a door that is now locked behind me.
Party's over.
And luckily 2 months out from taking any of that, and I no longer have this looming fear that I will never be
I also,
able to,
I no longer have the looming fear either. I no longer am afraid.
Oh, it's crazy.
Great.
Oh, it's
So,
insane. Next
do you-
question.
I feel like the moral of the story is that 2 out of 3 bosses have ED as a part of their lives, and there's nothing to be ashamed about.
That's exactly what the moral of
I guess that's it.
So TJ Nelson from Iowa
Okay.
asks, who would your dream collab be with and why?
I want to work with Subtronics or Boogie Team or Ganja. Those 3.
Alright, I have...
Fucking dope. They're too dope. I couldn't.
Yeah, please hit us up.
Yeah. Please hit us up, guys. He looks just like
You're
Jesse.
watching.
Please.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I have so many
I'll be your
collabs.
doppelganger, dude.
Yep.
Closey, Troy Boy, Amy Winehouse,
Hero Plus.
Hero Bus would be fun. Freddie Mercury or Olive Queen would have been great.
It's not really. I don't really do that now.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah.
Who would your dream collab be
Okay,
with?
yeah,
Not
well,
who
yeah.
would it have been?
Oh, well, who would it be? I don't know. You didn't stop me at Amy Winehouse.
She's still alive.
No.
She's on an island with Tupac. Her hair's gotten bigger.
Next
true,
question.
actually. Okay.
Her hair's gotten bigger. Thanks.
It has. In the documentary, it just like boop, 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 boop. If you haven't watched the documentary, you should. Her hair's gotten bigger, and she is now the size of a hot air balloon, and she's living in the Jamaicas with... About Amy Winehouse. You were away. You were on your vacation for that period of time.
Oh.
But it was really good. Her hair just gets bigger and bigger. And she dies, but she doesn't actually. She sails off with Tupac. It's like the end of Lord of the Rings when Frodo's sailing off on that boat.
What's the next question?
The next question is from Zachary Dixon from Nebraska, and it says, how long can you ooh-woo?
I'm not answering this.
Reese.
I'm not answering this. I'm not answering this.
Well,
You want to have a contest?
There is a part 2 to this question. Zachary Dixon is asking you guys to challenge each other.
I'm not gonna do that.
Challenge yourself to an ooh off.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Who are you
we
rooting
got-
for?
we got-
Leave it in the comments before, pause the video.
Alright.
So the
Leave
long
it in
part's
the
the
comments.
ooh, not the
Who can leave the best
ooh.
ooh?
It's not ooh, it's ooh.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
how
for
long can you
consistency.
ooh?
Okay, alright.
It's like yeah boy instead of yeah boy.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go! Go!
Like, I'm not doing this, dude. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this shit.
Zach's gonna do this on a podcast right now. Look at this. He switched to his head voice.
Next question.
Zach's the longest to woo.
I am the longest to woo.
Awesome.
Don't fucking hear it anywhere else.
Hear it here. Hear it here. I will. What the fuck is that statement?
Continue, please.
Don't hear it anywhere else.
This one's another anonymous. This is another part 2 as well. Hot or cold lunch?
Middle school or high school?
I'm gonna say one thing.
It doesn't specify. What do you guys?
Middle school or high school? Middle school changes things. Middle school lunch everywhere was trash, right? Trash.
In middle school, I had more sack lunches than I had.
I had way more sack.
Because
High school lunch was trash as well. You needed to like freaking put like 4 napkins on top of the pizza just to like.
So that was
know?
crazy. That did not feel real. I've never experienced that type of pizza anywhere in my life. Where it's just bad.
That pizza is just like
the like pan.
soaked.
You know, when they at the senior year when they had the like 6 different griddle spots and they like pan fried and they had everything like every Friday you could like get some cool shit.
Yeah.
And they had mac and cheese and like pizza and some good. It was all just really awful health. Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Fuck Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Well,
But there's no salt either. Not really fuck Michelle Obama, but she did take away our salt, and then there was a whole thing at our school which like caused a lot of issues.
I mean, I'm sure the school lunches would be gross either way.
They probably would have been horribly without. Yeah, there were still grease traps regardless, and the mac and cheese would have been nothing but noodles and like a little bit of. I can't believe it's not a solid.
I went to a middle school that I transitioned for a year, 5th grade, my first year of middle school. They had a build your own sub line, just like Subway.
Panini?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Kind of like that.
I don't think so, but even if they did, I wouldn't have noticed because I'm not a huge fan of grilled subs, but I do like paninis.
I like it.
I love paninis.
I love me some fucking paninis.
I love paninis.
Remember they took
New York paninis are crazy.
Remember when they took them out?
But that was the
of our
best.
school?
That was the best lunch food I ever had, and I think that's why I had a proclivity towards sack lunches and like sandwich lunches. When you get the sack with milk that no one drinks.
Well, you mean sack
Crazy
lunches from school?
Yeah, because I was in ISS.
Oh, I thought you meant sack lunches as in sack lunches means sack from home.
No,
I thought you meant school lunch. Or you're meaning
no.
school.
Isn't that
School
what
lunch.
hot and cold
Yeah.
lunch means?
Yeah, it's a
Like,
cold lunch.
Cold
The cold
lunch
lunch.
is like you bring from home.
Oh.
Yeah, cold
hot
lunch is you
lunch.
bring from home. Hot
Yeah.
lunch is that.
Is
I'm sorry,
made
you're not.
fresh.
He's an OPS kid, man. I know. Like, if you can't see that on the screen, everybody's honestly like vomiting. Reese is crying.
Listen, man. Everyone.
I
that went
love
to
OPS. I'm just giving
Everyone
Reese
that went
shit.
to OPS is either very successful or in prison right now.
And everybody that went to Millard is either very successful or in prison either, or they're just really, really, really angry about everything. There's Karen.
It seems like everyone
Millard has
that
so
we
many
went
Karens.
to
I
high
actually
school with
love
is like older now. Have
They
you guys
seem way,
noticed
yeah,
that?
they seem all like they're like 28 while we're like, but are we that old? I realized the other day I'm only 23. I couldn't remember my age.
This question does have a part 2. So it asks hot or cold lunch.
How does this have a part 2?
Now what about your bussy?
Now what
Hot
about
or
our
bussy?
bussy?
Hot or cold?
These part
Do you
2
bring it
questions.
from home or do you order it at school?
I'm gonna tell you.
There'd be no seasoning at school, but regardless.
Just like our music says, I'm gonna say I take the side of our music. I keep that thing tucked.
You keep it tucked, so is that a hot pussy?
Yeah.
Steaming? I like that.
It is.
I'll take it. I'll take a freezing bus, so then we can. It'll be like
You're
steam.
the
It'll be
yin and
steam.
the
The ice
yang
will
of
steam
bus.
the second it hits your bus, and I'll bus to bus, and.
So if you see any fog machines at our shows, we save
It's
a lot of
actually
money.
our ass
Yeah.
cheeks. Yeah, our ass
It's
cheeks.
just
touching.
the two buses coming together.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of our shows.
Yep.
Next question.
Next
We
question.
have a few more. Wait, we have time for how many more?
Yeah, let's look this up.
We have time
we're-
for. Let's do 2 more.
2 more questions?
2 more, just because it's our first podcast, and then we'll do a little conclusion. Thank you again if you're still listening. I'm honestly, at this point, I'm not sure why you are, but in a really good way. Like, please continue to listen. It's only going to get brighter and bigger and busser.
Who's the sexiest person alive? Says Anna C. from Iowa.
Okay. The sexiest person alive?
Ben Shapiro, hamburger helper.
I don't know who that is.
Probably the sexiest person that I know is me.
Anne Hathaway.
Really?
I don't know why.
Really? Even in Les Mis?
I'd say
I don't know why.
Emma Watson.
Brown hair.
honestly.
Brown hair just gets me.
Emma Watson's
Brown and black hair.
Emma Watson's cool. I don't know. You remember that girl that died in Bridge to Terabithia?
Hardly.
When I was like 11, I thought she was cute, but that was when I was like 11.
Alright, next question.
I was 11, and she was in. What do you fucking mean?
From the book or from
What's
the
that? A
movie?
next question from the movies. I'm 11. She's like way older than
Are
me.
you saying you're attracted to an 11-year-old?
No, she was like 14 in the movie, which means she's like 28 right now.
Are you attracted to her still?
Not in the movie.
So you were attracted to her when she was 14, but you're not.
When I was 11.
Okay.
That makes sense. Like,
Yeah, that makes 100% sense.
You just got over it.
I'm not judging. Did I say anything? I'm just clarifying. I'm
Like
just
that's like you
clarifying.
and your fetish with Gavroche from Les Mis.
Like, I don't have a fetish with Gavroche from Les Mis. That's never been a thing.
It's always happened.
look it up.
It
Never
is.
was.
My name's
Yeah.
Gavroche. This is my people. Here's my package.
I've never, no one's ever said that, but you just now.
Yeah. Get
Thank
over
you.
it. Next question.
Yeah, thank you.
Anonymous says, would you
Cheers to
use
that, Reese.
protection with yourself?
Yeah.
Explain.
Oh no.
Got backed into a corner.
Of course, that's an anonymous one.
Yeah. We will find you, whoever wrote that question.
I think I'm good.
We will find you.
Clean my pussy.
The only protection I would use would be sometimes I would probably use a condom just so like other me doesn't have to like clean up.
Worry about pregnancy.
Yeah. Oh wait, is it with myself or clone me? Like with myself?
Wait, that's
or with
important.
Like, you just went through, like, cellular division right now.
Okay,
Like,
mitosis.
complicated.
Yeah, just because it's also me, I would use like a courtesy condom, you know?
I'd creep by.
'Cause you'd
I'd creep by
appreciate
myself.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like, oh, now I gotta. I've never done the whole anal thing, but like,
Bro, if it was a clone, I'd throw them away
do I have to go
afterwards.
shit now? Like, do I have to
I'd
poop
throw them
out?
away after.
That's inhumane, though.
You're just
It's
gonna
not
say,
a living
What?
person.
You know,
That's
This
you,
brings on
dude.
a
how
whole
many
ethical thing,
practical
man.
how many
That's
practical
you.
applications do you have in your
Oh, that's true. I
realm?
can make him a slave.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, he's my
You can
slave
make
now.
yourself a slave too.
Guys, that is you.
Yeah.
Would you like
Yeah.
that? Would you like
No.
being a
Yeah,
Yeah,
slave
well, here's
But
the
that's
thing.
not me.
Here's the thing. If I'm cleaning for me, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, like I exist because he does, right? Like I'll clean for you. You're hungry? Okay, well, if you die, like I don't know. If I just went through cell division, do I have my memories? You know?
Yeah, like what is this? How do I sell? Do I my?
If
This
you
is
poop out an
going
identical version of me
way
that
too
has
deep.
just a blank brain, yeah, you're doing everything of mine from now on.
All right, one more, and then we gotta wrap this up. One more.
Alright, one more. Got to pick a nice one. Do you share a fleshlight?
No,
No? Alright.
not currently.
What's your
That
favorite
was-
What's your favorite song? This is a good one to wrap it up on.
That's a bad one to wrap it up on. I have no idea. It's not a bad one to wrap it up on, but
A song that the viewers should look up right
I
now.
don't have a solid one.
Um,
But I would listen to anything by Subtronics. At least recently, like he's been killing it. Infect has a new album, which is really fire.
I've really liked a lot of your
Tosh
music
Sultana.
lately, actually.
Drew, yeah,
that's
listen
not
to
very
Drew.
good.
Yeah,
Don't
Drew.
listen.
Drew has a
Honestly,
really
there's
good.
wow. Actually, I forgot my
you
favorite
can't
artist.
listen to me.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't put anything out.
But he will. He'll be putting out a lot more now that he's with us. He'll be putting it out.
That's
I
true.
also,
Stay tuned.
aside from that, I think what I've liked or enjoyed listening to the most was "First Day of My Life" by Bright Eyes. Just because the lyrics have resonated with me, so that's my favorite song like currently. But I never keep a favorite song for long.
I love The Judge by 21 Pilots. only because I've listened to that today.
Yeah,
So recently,
I played that this morning.
Yeah, that in my like memory, in my stream of consciousness, that popped out to me as that is.
I like how they go like kind of reggae for a minute.
Yeah,
in a lot of
yeah,
them.
they like do. But on that note, thank you.
Yeah.
We have come to our time, and if you
Yeah.
stuck with us,
If you
through
did
the
stick
whole-
around, leave a what's a good emoji to leave, or what? Leave something.
leave a turtle emoji.
Or just say tortelingus.
And leave a turtle emoji.
Yeah, leave a turtle emoji, and if you can't, say tortelingus.
Yeah.
If you're here from the whole podcast, thank you.
This will
is
be
gonna
around
bigger.
every once in a while, not on a regular schedule
on
yet, right?
a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis, yeah.
I fucked that up. It's on a weekly basis, so
Yep,
stay tuned
it will
next
be
week.
available every Thursday.
Hey, that's really good marketing, though.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is not what's gonna happen? No, that's exactly what's
Actually,
gonna
yeah,
happen.
actually, it's even better. Yeah, actually, you're right.
See how
So this-
naturally we pulled that off?
This will be available, so-
all on purpose.
What I need to say is this will be available at least on YouTube. We are also going to get together whatever other distribution platform we have, which will be pretty easy to put it at any podcast available locations, whether
Yeah,
it be
it might
Audible,
be on our Facebook too.
Audible, Facebook, not sure. We're going to figure it out. But either way, thank you so much. This is the end to our first BUSS Between the Cheeks podcast with the three cheeks themselves. We really hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have all of our links in the description. Ask us comments. Please follow us on all of our social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's all BUSS or DJ BUSS.
SoundCloud.
Please, SoundCloud is a big one for us.
TikTok.
TikTok, we're also going to
Do
make
we
you.
have a TikTok?
If you want
We
us to
do.
make more TikToks, press. If you're a talker, say that you're a talker in the chat. You know, just say
We're
I'm a
talkers too,
talker.
that's
Yeah,
why we
we're
got
kind
this
of
podcast,
latent.
Well,
on,
TOKKER,
TikTok
not a
right
talker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
This wraps it up. Thank Drew as well. Thank you,
Oh,
and thank Drew for being
thank
our
you,
guest this
and
week.
thank
Yeah.
Drew.
Signing out.
We are good to go.
Bye.